the connection between climate change and asthma and allergies. We're certainly seeing longer outdoor allergy seasons, um, more pollen blooming earlier, different times of the year. There's more moisture in some areas, adverse weather events like forest fires. So outdoor air pollution and certainly climate change is impacting. And where does our indoor air come from? We need to bring it from outdoors. And in some climates, you just can't open windows, and you may need to heat air or you may need to cool air. And there's a big connection between not only the drive for being planet friendly and being good for our planet, but are our drives people friendly, and how that sustainability and healthy people, healthy planet, healthy people living on a healthy planet. So there's some really interesting conversations going to be had in the future around that. Um, but indoor air, as I said, we spend most of our time indoors, and we spend a lot of that in our bedrooms as well, where there can be buildup of bioburden. And that's different in different parts of America. It's different in different parts of the world. In urban areas, cockroach allergen can often be the most common indoor
Mm.
allergen. Dust mite allergen traditionally in Europe and more moist areas of America, although there's different species of dust mites, which people
Right.
didn't realize. They originally came from birds' nests. That's where dust mites came from way back when. Um, and then there's other things we can bring in, pollen on our clothes from outdoors and our shoes. There's in underserved communities, a big issue we see is various pest remediation and things like that. And we've done some really interesting interventional studies of going into homes in underserved areas and just doing pest remediation, removing mold and changing bed linens, and have extraordinary life-changing outcomes on people, getting them off complex medication, obesity issues, missing school, missing sports, and some fascinating work in our Innovation Research Institute we're doing on that. Mold is another one. I mean, you can't see moisture, but moisture is really an indoor air pollution, and it builds up, and you get steam, and it condenses, and there's issues with energy efficient buildings where the dew point is now, moisture balancing, and then you obviously get mold, and again, we're talking about allergens. We haven't even really spoken about infectious agents. We're not talking about Legionella and Stachybotrys and things which are infections, were non-infectious indoor air pollutants, which are allergens, which cause sickness through an allergic and inflammatory response, not through an infection. If you get into sick buildings and infection, that's a whole new
Right.
area. Um, so yeah, I think that this idea of people refocusing on indoor air, and this idea that the stresses, internal building stresses like dust, like allergens, like moisture, and we've seen insurance premiums being impacted on outdoor building stresses, hurricanes, and you can put a buttress or reinforcement in your roof, which will cost you a certain amount of money, but you'll get a payback in that in a year or so on your insurance premiums coming down. And I'd like to see that conversation move into internal building stresses, and can we get insurance premium coming down on people's health because they live in healthier buildings?